Thank you, Mayor. Can I already feel my heart rate increasing? I this has hit home. I'm gonna try to keep it together. I wrote down my comments because I didn't want to misspeak in my role as a council member tonight. So, Council, I appreciate you allowing me the space to share these comments. It's not too long, but it's going to take a few minutes. So thank you in advance for your patience. Okay. The tragedy that occurred this past Friday shook us all to our cores. The collision between a tow truck and 6 cyclists, resulting in the loss of life of one and the others in critical condition, is unimaginable. Joanna Wheaton lost her life that night. Joanna Wheaton served on our housing commission and was very engaged with the mayor and council, often setting up one-on-ones to discuss how we might better serve the most vulnerable in our community. Joe had passion and cared deeply for others. I want to thank you, Joe, for your service and your efforts here in Flagstaff in our community. You will be missed. Both Dapper Dre and Sarah Grace are currently in the hospital and are recovering and fighting for their lives as they work to heal their bodies with the great work of the staff at the hospital. This horrible accident occurred during Flagstaff Bike Party's monthly community ride, where locals are empowered to ride their bikes regularly and safely. If this can happen to a group of over 70 cyclists riding together for safety's sake, this can happen to any of us. The sad truth is that these types of collisions between vehicles and cyclists occur often and often don't get the recognition that they need for us to address them properly as policy setters. And often, unfortunately, can result in the loss of life. Cyclists risk their lives every day by sharing the road with cars, trucks, vehicles weighing thousands of pounds, and are often moving faster than us as a cyclist. On top of this, there are so many distractions on your everyday driver. Go stand at a busy corner at any street and watch what happens when cars come to a stop at a stoplight. Their heads go down, their phones come out, and often when that light turns green, they move forward with their heads still down. This is a huge concern to me as a cyclist and as a council member. Cyclists aren't always seen or considered in one's thoughts while driving these vehicles, potentially devastating to life. We shouldn't be having cars and cyclists sharing the road separated by a small strip of paint. Period, end of story. I've said that so often. I know that the ATMP is going to address separated lanes, integrating this approach into our design standards, but we must and can do more to keep our community safe. A list of examples of things that come to mind, and I'm not going to claim to know all the answers, and I'm looking forward to the community discussion ahead in figuring out what we can do to really create an impact. But a quick list is better signage, warning folks as they go from east side to west side or to areas of which there are more pedestrians and that we know have more collisions, that there are pedestrians and that they need to be more alert as a driver. Review of our practices and how we build to accommodate community growth. Are we moving people or are we moving cars? Are we prioritizing our plans centered around pedestrians or single individual vehicles, moving one person at a time? We need to look at the areas of concern where collisions occur regularly. We have data on this, Council, and better address safety measures in those areas. We need to adjust speed limits on streets like Butler. We need to better address distracted drivers proactively and not just reactively. We need to see through the separated lane pilot projects that are funded in our budget and make that a priority that doesn't happen in a year from now, but in months from now. And then we need to consider things like Vision Zero Network, which is something that we were emailed about recently. where this Vision Zero Network is a collaborative campaign helping communities reach their goals of Vision Zero, limiting all traffic fatalities and severe injuries while increasing safe, healthy, equitable mobility for all. This is something I'm interested in. So in conclusion, Vice Mayor, thank you for bringing forward your fair. I too was going to bring forward a fair, and so I'm just going to say it just to add it. I'm not too sure what we should move forward with. I would like for us to have a community conversation about bicycle and pedestrian safety and how the city can better prioritize the movement of people and not just vehicle travel. And the recovery process for those who have been hit and impacted is going to take a long time, and it's going to be painful. And that there are so many in our community who are struggling today with tragedy, including myself. It's going to take not months, if not years, to overcome this horrific event. So if you are struggling like myself, seek help, talk to friends, feel your emotions, seek and professional support, and we will get through this as a community. And I have faith in this city and in the city council to rise above and do what's best in implementing change that isn't just talk, but is fundamentally shifting the way we operate as a community for our pedestrians and our cyclists. Thank you, Council and Mayor, for letting me speak, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember Shimoni.